Hey, thanks very much for using Enable Tracking. I'm going to quickly review what you're going to get from us if you use our tracking services and what you'll need to do to get the trackers ready and hand them out. So we will ship you all your trackers in a flight case similar to this. It will be zip tied shut, so the first thing you're going to need to do is just remove that zip tie. We have a couple of different size cases depending on the size of your event, and you may get multiple cases depending on how many trackers you have. Once you get in a case, on the top there's going to be a couple of things. First of all, a return label. So that will be usually via UPS, and that is there ready to go. It's prepaid. All you'll need to do is stick that on the bottom of the case once you're finished and send it back. To be a set of instructions that will include instructions on how to turn the trackers on, and also there'll be a letter explaining how to return the trackers at the end of the event. You'll also get a couple of zip ties in here. They are for zip tying the case shut when you return it to us. We have had situations where clasp is opened and we don't want all our trackers to go everywhere and ship it, so please make sure you put the zip ties back on. From there, what you'll see is all your trackers will be laid out, and we organize them via your bib number that you've sent us. And if you have different race distances, maybe a 100-mile or a 50-mile, they'll usually be separated into two different categories. So you can see every single tracker is within a little plastic bag. They'll have the bib number and the name of the team or the name of the participant on that particular label. It also says leave tracker in bag, and tracker must have clear view of the sky. So make sure that your participants leave this little tracker in the bag. It's to protect it from not only water, if there's a water event, but also sweat and grime and nasty stuff like that. About an hour before your event starts, you'll want to start turning your trackers on. If you have 100, 200 trackers, you probably want to give yourself usually give myself about 15-20 minutes per 100 trackers to turn them on. So it's a great job for volunteers. We have a couple of so these are the trackers, and we are going to just show you how to turn them on. Some of them are harder to turn on than others. Actually, the ones that have the orange dot on are a little bit harder than others to turn on. But if you look at the front of the tracker, we have there's actually 3 little labels here, and they have a light that turns on, and the power button is actually on the very top here. It's really hard to see, but you can see it if you're in the light. The best thing to do is look for the little sign that says GPRS, and above that what I'll usually use is a Sharpie or something with a soft lid, and I'm just going to go ahead and push and hold for about 2 seconds, and the first thing that's going to happen is my red power light is going to turn on, and then in a few seconds you're going to see the GPS light turn on. That means it's looking for a GPS signal, and then also my cell light will turn on, and that's going to start to flash. And we'll leave them for a second, and what you're looking for is the cell light to become a steady green flashing light, and that will indicate that it's found cell service and it's good to go. So the other thing that's really important about the trackers is that they are not in the bottom of a bag or obscured from the sky, and we have a couple of different ways that you can do that. So if your event people are carrying bags, you're going to be looking for a way to put the tracker in an outside pocket. Most bags will have a pocket that's at the top. That's a great location for it. An outside mesh pocket here, that's really good. Front pocket like this, that's good as well. What we're looking for is the lights to be facing outwards or up towards the sky. You can also, if you have it, you can also tape it on to your pack like this. We also supply a little tracker pouch like this. These are relatively new, but if you're using these, once you've turned all the trackers on, the best way to do it is your participants walk up, you pull the tracker out the case, put it inside your tracker pouch with the lights facing up, and then you can just hand that straight to the participant. The participant can then use these Velcro straps on the back to simply attach it to their pack. And the recommended place is as far back on the pack as possible. And you can see once it's there, people will be like, it's going to annoy my collarbone and be really annoying. But actually with most packs, whether it's a small lightweight backpack, hydration pack, or anything like that, it's going to sit way back, It's not going to annoy them in their head anywhere here, and it's sitting perfect for us to get a really good cell service and a really good GPS service. So we highly recommend these little packs. It also lets you know that your participants have a tracker on them. You can see them, it's super visual. And something to consider is at the finish line, you need to get the trackers back. And if they're buried in a bag or taped on, it can be really difficult to get them back. With these, it's super simple. You can just come and Velcro it, put it in a box, and then you can sort through them afterwards. So that's recommended method of attaching to a pack. We also supply in some events a small case like this. So maybe you're doing a swim event or an event where people aren't carrying packs. In that case, you can just go ahead and use the belt to put the tracker in here, and then participants can put that around their waist and wear it on the back, and that's great for that. If you are doing a cycling event and everyone is wearing cycling jerseys, the best place for the tracker is just to go ahead and have them stick it in their back jersey pocket. It works really well there. So once your event is done, make sure you collect all the trackers at the finish line. It's the hardest thing to do is get a tracker back when that participant has left the area. Make sure you have a plan in place. If you have a finish line coming in, we've got guidelines we can send you on best methods to get the tracker back. If you're doing awards or everyone's getting a medal, you can make sure they get a medal after they've given the tracker back. But having organization in your finish line to collect the tracker is pretty important. Once you have them all back, you can just go ahead and put them in the case. We ask you that if you see any moisture inside any of the bags for any reason, you just cut the tracker out and put it in. Otherwise, just leave them as is. If you've been using belts or any of these, you can just put them back in the case. We'll wash them when we get them back. We'll also turn the trackers off. You don't have to worry about doing that. We can do it remotely. Then you just go ahead, shut your case up, go ahead and attach your zip tie, turn label on the bottom, and go and drop it off at UPS store. And we'll get them back for you. So thanks again once for using Enable Tracking for your event, and let us know if you have any questions.